Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number 4010-3-601. This is a hinge. This is a 3-inch single-acting spring hinge and a steel base in a bright black Japan finish. That's just a little bit of oil that's on there that's, comes through the manufacturing process from the factory. Okay, a fairly common hinge, the 4010 is, and that's what it looks like basically from your pull side perspective. This is going to be a door used in fairly specific sort of instances where you have a thin door yet a slightly heavier door. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, the 4010 is representative of the series of this hinge. It is a single acting sort of spring hinge that will be specifically of a non-template screw pattern. These holes will be in this sort of shape. The -3 is a reference to the size. There is a link below this video to a document called Template, which gives you all of the important dimensional properties. 3 inches is the height of the leaf. You can see from that drawing that your overall height is about 3 15/16. 3-inch leaf height is, to me, less important when it comes to Bommer spring hinges, single or double acting, than knowing the door thickness, because the door thickness is what dictates what size hinge you must, or you can possibly use. Generally, it's what you must use. The 3-inch version is directly related to the 3/4 inch to 1 inch thick range door. Now, sure, you can install a 3-inch on an 1 3/4 door. Nothing would prevent you to do it, from doing it. But the reason that relationship between hinge size and door thickness is established is because of the testing that's done. They know that this size hinge with that size spring is meant for those size doors. And to even add on to that, there's a guide below this video to the maximum weight of the door and the maximum width. If your door is up to 45 pounds or 2 foot 4 inches wide, or 28 inch, they're looking at you using 2 spring hinges. And you would certainly need at least 2. You can't mix and match this with any other hinge because the axis of pivoting would not be plumb. The point being is that you'll have 2 hinges. If your door is up to 65 pounds or maybe up to 2 foot 8 wide, 32 inch, they want 3 spring hinges, is the bottom line. And you're going to see these sorts of spring hinges installed in a variety of applications. The little half door to the cash wrap at a gas station or a retail store or a restaurant. You'll see them all the time. Utility sorts of applications, people will use these gates, whatnot, etc. Okay. Moving on in the part number, this is 601. That means bright. It means 2 things actually. It means bright black Japan, and that it's made of steel. It's a steel-based hinge and a bright black finish. Black is a very common finish for Bommer items, whether it's single-acting spring hinges or gate springs, or they're far more common double-acting spring hinges, they're 3029 series. So the balance of the template, and it's available in all the common finishes, by the way, your brasses, your bronze, your chromes, zinc plated, which would be a 603. That's a real good option if it's an exterior use. Prime coat naturally, oil rubbed bronze, etc. And they'll accommodate requests for special, less common finishes like a satin bronze. They can do that as well. There is a link below this video to a document called Instructions. And those instructions are naturally included with your paperwork, but they're offered there for you to review them pre and post purchase, I suppose. And you're going to see there how, what they're supposed to look like. And the short version of the installation instruction basically says, get the door hung, is the bottom line. When the hinge ships, there's likely no tension set on it at all. So you might just have to get your fingers in there and open it up and get your door hung. Okay? Once the door is hung, and you're going to install it with the tension collar pointed towards the top, and the tension collar is this ring that's here with the holes drilled in it. You can see that the bottom does not have any of those. You'll get that installed, and then you'll insert the included tension rod into one of those holes and turn it clockwise. As you turn it clockwise, you reveal new additional holes. And as you reveal those new additional holes, you will insert the included tension pin. And that's how you set the tension on this. 3 holes of tension is recommended, but more might be required. A maximum of 5 holes. If you are getting to a point where you need more than 5 holes of tension to get that door closed, you may, and if you have 2 spring hinges, certainly add a third. And if you have 3, you're probably using this hinge on a door that's too large and need to go with something else. Or maybe just more hinges. Depends on, you know, the size and everything. So step 1, install the hinges to the door and jamb. Tension collar may be positioned up or down, that's true. If you position it down, turn it counterclockwise, that's all. Fasten securely with the screws provided in a complementary finish. Wood screws are provided. Place the door in the closed position. Insert the tension lever into the tension collar. Rotate. 3 holes recommended, 5 holes maximum. If the door squeaks or binds, you might require extra lubrication at the hinge joints, and that's kind of where that material comes into effect there. Now, what is going to happen in those sorts of regards is where you can, over time, you can get a little lubricant in there to coat that spring, because that's a steel spring that's in there. And that is, you'll hear a squeak in two instances. When you might have too much tension set, number 1. Number 2, if your hinge is older and it might have a little bit of oxidation built up on the inside of the spring, you can get some lubricant in there and coat that, and it should deaden that sound, at least temporarily. And that is really the balance of the installation instructions, except that it's giving you 2 arrows where to apply the lubricant, you know, in this seam and this seam as well. Almost lastly, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line Bommer product catalog and review all things hinge related from Bommer. They are certainly most notorious or most widely known, popularly known for their double acting spring hinges, their 3029. You see those all the time. But as it pertains to single acting or double acting spring hinges, the name Bommer is quite synonymous with that material. They also get into laboratory hardware, commercial, institutional, industrial grade hinges as well. The last thing I'd like to point out is the Bommer logo, and right above it it says Made in USA, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer, number 4010-3-601 single acting spring hinge or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.